What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Phoenix Pals Podcast, aka P3, episode 17. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's going to be a very good episode. Kind of a new episode, as y'all couldn't have tell already. We're doing a little bit more face cam, a little bit more face casting, if you so will. Now, the regular style of podcasting will be back soon. I'm still unpacking a lot of stuff from Korea. If you don't know what's going on or haven't been following me on Twitter, I am back in the States officially. I'm in my new place. So I'm still getting stuff unpacked and moved and stuff like that. So the regular type of podcast, it probably won't happen for a while. So this is probably going to be the style for it. If you guys like this style, let me know in the comment section. Give me some feedback. If you don't like it, you want to go back to the old stuff, let me know as well. I mean, that's cool with me too. Anyways, back to the original episode. So this is going to be talking about the new Madden 18 blogs that have just came out. Talking about game styles, DB wide receiver, and target passing. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things going into Madden 18. Particularly, the main thing I want to hit on is the game styles. We have three new ones. We have simulation, arcade, and competitive. Frankly and honestly, the only one I really care about and want to talk about is competitive. Simulation, we've been playing on default simulation sliders for years, since Madden 15, I believe, or even Madden 25. And those have been absolutely a nightmare to play on, especially online, especially with MUD being the way it is. We needed a change, and having these competitive settings are going to be a godsend for us in Madden 18. And to be honest, I am not a big fan of simulation. I am not a big fan of fluke. I'm not a big fan of randomness. I like to be in control of my game. I like my opponent to be in control. Like, I hate saying, dang, the game screwed me, or feeling like I got screwed over, or things are just snowballing out of my, snowballing into a loss because things are out of my control. So having competitive settings, again, is going to probably be the greatest thing that happens to Madden, the franchise of Madden in general. So real quick here, as far as I'm kind of reading from the blog here, so that if I look away, that's probably what I'm looking at here. So looking at this, we can say that it says right here that going for an interception with a wide open defensive player who has a good catch rating leads to significantly lower chance of them dropping the ball, which was huge. I cannot tell you that, and many other people that play Madden hardcore cannot tell you the amount of times that wide open, or not really wide open, but defensive backs or even linebackers or just straight up defenders that have an opportunity for like a pick six, they have an opportunity to basically pick the ball up with just drop it in their hands and literally frustrate the living hell out of you because of their deficiency. Even with like a Deion Sanders, with a Nitrate Lane, with a Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Akeem Talib, Chris Harris Jr., Richard Sherman, it does not even matter who it was. They would drop balls and drop picks consistently, basically giving your opponent another chance to score, another chance to get points, another chance to basically survive and basically be in the game when they shouldn't be. And that was one of the biggest issues with playing on the default simulation sliders. Here's another one. Throwing from a clean pocket from the quarterback's feet set reduces the chance of an inaccurate pass, providing they have a good pass accuracy rating based on the throw type and that you're not using any pass mechanics. So basically what this means is that if your feet are set, and like if you have like an Aaron Rodgers or a Drew Brees, they should be able to throw that ball accurately. A lot of times, especially in Madden 17, and sometimes even in Madden 16, what would happen is that you would have a clean pocket, there would be nobody around you, and you would throw the ball, and they would just completely sail it to either the defender or, sail it way in front of them or behind them, or just throw a bad pass, and yet they have like the best accuracy rates, like 90s plus. So again, this is another godsend because the quarterbacks that can make the throws should make the throws. If your quarterback can't make the throws, he should not make the throws, and I think this is what this kind of hits on here. There's a significantly lower chance of a drop catch when a receiver is considered wide open and has a good catch rating, aka the rat catch bug that never got fixed. Again, one of those things that frustrates you for on offense, especially guys that have good catching, like Gronkowski's, like Julio Jones type receiver, Randy Moss. If you played Ultimate Team, those guys that be wide open, especially in the flats. I would see it happen more in throws that happen to the flats more than any other route in the game. And it would frustrate you that, again, you're wide open, you have the catch ratings, you drop it because of simulation sliders. So again, frustrating, but glad they addressed it. There's a decreased chance of offensive wins in multiplayer catch outcomes, such as throwing to cover receivers. Which this is the biggest point. I didn't mean to like hit my laptop like that. My bad. But this is the biggest point of me. One of the biggest, besides the wide open drop picks and interceptions, this is by far the biggest complaint of the competitive community for years, is that people would tend to, and still tend to these days in Madden 17, throw into double coverage, triple coverage, quadruple coverage, 5-time quintuplet coverage, whatever, 6 people, 7 people, and still be able to put a receiver would still be able to put hands on the ball. A, B, none of my defenders will be able to react and or jump. C, they would sometimes even catch the ball with over like probably the best defenders in the game, like a Dez Bryant, not the summer blockbuster, but like a maybe like a Julio Jones can just moss a Deion Sanders, which shouldn't happen. Deion Sanders is the best cover corner in the game, period. Or you would have like a Luke Keek, like a bum, like a Jeff Cumberland or something like that, go up and completely moss like a Luke Kuechly or like a Richard Sherman, something like that, which does not happen. So again, the days of throwing into double, triple, quadruple coverage should be over. Again, it's sad that has literally plagued Madden for years. To be honest, that has literally been the one thing that has plagued Madden, at least competitive Madden, for years, and I'm glad they finally addressed it. Only AI players with a big hitter trait can hit stick, so no more getting hit stick by Deion Sanders, who literally should not even be hit sticking in the first place, which he shouldn't even be able to make a play and or a tackle because of a hit stick from that. So it it's gonna be one of those things that the Cam Chancellors of the world, maybe the Calvin Pryors, the Night Train Lanes, if you play Mud, the guys that are known for their big hits and stuff like that will actually be able to hit stick and stuff like that. You shouldn't be getting hit stick by, like I said, Deion Sanders or like a DRC and stuff like that and fumble the football. So again, that's hitting on competitive, the game styles and stuff like that. Again, I don't care about arcade. We've been playing arcade in Madden 16. We don't care about simulation. We've been doing that for years. And again, that's been the biggest complaint of why, to me personally, that Madden has not been good in the past couple of years, or actually since maybe Madden 25. And I keep bringing this point up again, that the game hasn't been good since Madden 25 because of the whole direction of simulation that Rex and the development team was trying to do. That's not what the competitive community wants. And again, I'm glad they have addressed that and introduced competitive settings into Madden 18. So moving on, this is where kind of another one that's kind of an interesting blog is the DB wide receiver interaction blog that was posted on July 21st. Again, one of those things that is kind of tricky with wide receiver DBs interactions, because my biggest complaint is that for years, especially in the whole area of multiple defenders on receivers, that we have this issue where multiple defenders don't animate, or even single like one-on-one defenders don't animate when we are clearly controlling them, or not aware of where the ball is, or not tracking it, so they can't make a play on it, or they don't jump on it, and or play too passive. Again, one of those things that I'm tricky. I'm kind of more curious to see how it plays. I played a little bit of EA Play, and to me, it seemed a lot better. But again, that was only a limited sample that I could play. I didn't get the full time like I really wanted to with the game. But it does talk about a couple of things in this blog. Highlight coverage. Basically now, instead of kind of guessing where you're supposed to be, like say for instance you're supposed to play a third receiver hook, it actually has a line that tells you this is where you should be, or this is who you should be covering, instead of just be like, I guess I should be covering this, or I guess this is what it means by a hook curl or vertical hook, or curl to flat, or whatever the case may be. It actually tells you this is where you need to be, which I guess kind of makes it a little bit easier to play defense. Excuse me, got a little bad cough. Kind of makes it a little bit easier to play defense. Again, I'm not a big fan of visual aids being on, especially with competitive settings, but then again, that's just me. But again, it's kind of helpful because a lot of people that aren't advanced in football knowledge don't know what a vertical hook is, or curl to flat, or a third wide receiver hook, or a cloud flat. Sometimes they just know it as I have a purple there, I have a blue there, I have a yellow there. So I guess that kind of helps. Press mechanics. They're getting revamped. From what I can tell, at EA Play, guys that have like really good man cover skills, so like the Denver Broncos, Akeem Talib and Chris Harris, or even the Giants receivers with DRC and Janoris Jenkins. Those guys are going to be able to jam. Like if you have a really low release, you're going to be in trouble, especially if guys have really high press and really good man coverage. They're going to absolutely shut down. And or I've seen it at EA Play. They would sometimes you would get shut down to the point where you would completely get rerouted or even stopped during the play. So you would just be completely taken out, which is again is another thing that adds a little bit more strategy, a little bit more depth into the competitive aspect of Madden. But again, if you miss now this year, like in years past and even this year, if you whiffed on press coverage, you would get burnt. But I think this year is going to be especially critical that you pick and choose when you're going to press. Because if you press at the wrong time, I'm gone. And there's no warp tackles this year. Like warp tackles are completely gone. They're going bye-bye. So if you're gone, you're gone. Like it's no joke. You are gone. So again, it's another dimension to add to Madden. I think it's going to be good. But in the blog, this talks about more so along with the Mud Squad. So if you don't know, team play is back, 3v3 Madden. The last time it was back was Madden 25. So if you're absolutely brand new to the Madden scene, basically team play, I'm just moving this a little bit around. Team play was basically where you and two other buddies can team up and basically play against another group of three, and you basically control certain aspects of your team. So, for instance, I think they have like the offensive coordinator who controls all the offense. They bring the offensive players, the offensive plays, and stuff like that. The defensive coordinator is in charge of the defense. Head coach is more like timeouts and pauses and stuff like that, I think. And you'd be able to play with multiple positions. You don't have to be stuck on one unless you're the quarterback on offense. That's the only time you'll be completely stuck. But honestly, man, it's going to be one of those features that are going to be well worth it in Madden. I think I think to S. Gibbs, one of my guys in Madden, in the Madden community, he says that mud squads and team play might be the biggest thing in Madden. If it goes right, which I think it is, I think a lot of people are going to love it. We may see something big with team play in terms of like being competitive and actually playing competitive games with team play. So again, we'll see what happens. But that's kind of somewhere down the road. Going back to the blog here, again, we have the contextual auto chuck. So again, more press animations, more chucking and stuff like that between the wide receiver and the defender if they run into each other and stuff like that. So now apparently you will see more two-player animations instead of just the standard bump and nobody gets affected by it, but they just keep going just because the game says keep going. So that's going to be good. Again, they talk about wide receiver release mechanics. Again, this is more of the mud squads type of thing, where you have more of a control of what your receiver does if you like to play the wide receiver spot. You have different releases, so you can have like a just go release, a conservative charge of release, foot fire release, and those are different buttons and stuff like that in the standard release. So again, if you want more information, please read up on it. I think that's going to be good for you guys. And it actually has a good chart that actually shows you what you should be using if you're going to be using the wide receiver and DB and mud squads, what wins against that, what loses against what. So I think that's very good. Again, I'm looking at it, more stuff for mud squads and stuff like that. Cut out a press, route running, and cut move mechanics. How you call for the ball, and that's really it. I think that's pretty much all there is to it. So again, mud squads, I think it's worth it. I played it at EA Play. I played a game of it. I'm actually featured on a YouTube video, I think by MMG. So make sure to go check him out. I think it's on his channel. I think it's I actually see my face in the thumbnail, which is actually pretty cool. So it was a lot of fun. So shout out to him and 405 for playing with me and Madden mud squads. So the last blog I want to hit on real quick, and then I'll end it. I know the podcast is a little bit shorter than normal, but it's a lot better to do it without the intros and music and stuff like that. We have the target passing mechanic. Now this mechanic right here is probably what's going to separate the good from the great to the best players, honestly. And that's this target passing mechanic. Basically, you get to see exactly where the ball is going to be thrown before you throw it. You can lead routes up the field. You can place it between zones. You like if you have a. I think it really comes down to how accurate your quarterback is. So here, right here, is on the passing breakdown. See exactly where the ball is going to go before you throw it. Lead shallow routes up the field before reaching the sideline. Place the ball between zones, forcing your receiver to throttle down. Lead the ball to where only your receiver can get it. Throw timing routes before the cut or even when your receiver is being pressed. So basically, how this works is you basically select your receiver. You activate the coach cam with the right trigger or R2 if you're on PlayStation 4, and you press the button on the desired receiver to make him the primary receiver on the play. So you bring up your target, you hold left trigger, which is a little bit interesting. You hold left trigger and your target comes up. You move the target with the left stick, and then I guess you just throw it. Now, if you want to switch, say for instance, like I have an Antonio Brown, but now I want Martavis to be the new primary receiver or the guy that I want to target. So to do this, all you have to do is hold LT or left trigger, press the button of a receiver other than the receiver that's currently targeted, and the target will switch. So again, if you come out, hey, I want to run corner strike, Antonio Brown on one side, Martavis to the other. Oh, that's DRC. That's that's Chris Harris Jr. on Antonio Brown. Gotta switch that over. All right, let me get Martavis, or let me get Jesse James or something like that to be the guy. So I think that's cool. And then all you have to do, if you want to throw it, just throw it to the receiver that has the button on top of his head. If you released the left trigger, though, it turns back to normal. It's just a neutral target passing and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about, leading them a certain way. It just goes right back to the normal passing system that we're used to. And also to note, it says that target passing is on left trigger, left or L2 on PS4. Low pass controls have changed. Now you have to hold left bumper and L1 to activate the high-low modifier. So now instead of just holding, I think what was it last year was L left trigger, I think was like low pass, and I think left bumper was high pass. Now they just put it on left bumper, and so now you had to put basically push up the left stick up to go high and the left stick down to go low, which I think is pretty. I think that's a pretty good change in my mind. So that's it for the blogs here. Again, let me know what you think here. If you like the new podcast, if you hate it, you want to go back to the original, that stuff is cool. Again, this is something that to me is going to be temporary, so I don't know if I should say get used to it or not. But again, it's one of those things that it's just going to have to be to get you guys information and to keep the channel growing, stuff like that, until I get all my stuff back and I can do whatever I need to do. Also, too, let me know what you think about the blogs and the information. Are you excited about it? Are you not excited about it? What do you think about the game styles? Are you a sim player? Are you a competitive player? Are you an arcade player? And let me know what you guys think about the wide receiver DB interactions and the new target pass mechanics, stuff like that. Is that something you guys are going to be implementing into your team? And let me ask you as a bonus question, who will be the quarterback to use in Madden this year that can really take the most advantage of target pass? Is it going to be a Tom Brady? Is it going to be an Aaron Rodgers? Is it going to be Drew Brees? Who will be the guy that really puts target passing as a must-have quarterback to master target passing completely? Let me know in the comment section below. And on that note, guys, I will see you guys in the next episode of Phoenix Pals Podcast. I am out. 5 Gs, y'all. Peace.